And good evening. We are live, and welcome to the people that are watching this as a video also. So what we're doing this evening is that we're doing the new moon forecast. The new moon forecast is the template for the entire lunar cycle. So knowing what's going on in the new moon is really important for understanding these energies and then planning your activities and knowing what to expect, at least from an energetic perspective. We're also going to talk about the 6 things that you need to know. I know in the description it says 5 things, but there's actually 6, so I just changed that actually. And then we have some recommended practices to do. We have some divination cards to add additional messages, maybe things that I did not think of that Spirit wants to interject. And also, I'm going to talk a little bit about July the 22nd. That's a really important date coming up. That's basically what's on the agenda. So if you're here as a video, just hang in there another minute or two. I like to give the live people a moment to get their notifications. I see some people are finding us, so they're starting to get it. And who's in? Let me put in my eyes, although my glasses are kind of dirty. And anyway, it's still better than without glasses. Hey, Carissa, welcome. Hi, MT and Angela and Chris the volunteer, and Lisa Marie and Melissa is in, and hi Susan, hi Jennifer B, and hi everybody else that's coming in. I hope that we're doing well. I hope that everybody is happy and healthy and feeling free and excited about these changes in the world, even though it's difficult. The idea is we want to be in our heart, we want to be in our center, we want to be in our heart, high vibes. And the more that we can do this and the more people that do this, the easier it's going to be for everybody, because this transition is really hard on a lot of people. Everything from what's going on with the weather. And by the way, July is like breaking record books already in the weather department. So I think that was part of the July forecast too. So that's happening. I think Death Valley recorded its hottest temperature ever. I think it was 138 Fahrenheit or something crazy like that, which is the hottest temperature recorded in the earth. And then there's a lot of flooding. There's terrible flooding in Mississippi last night. Of course, New York, just south of me, Vermont, all kinds of stuff that's happening. It's all like a lot of restructuring. The energy's got to kind of flare up. Things have to shift and change in order to come back to the new balance, because the frequencies are getting stronger. The energies that are affecting the planet are getting stronger. The magnetic north is shifting and changing strengths. I was going to say Silveggio frequencies. No, the Schumann resonance is off the charts, up and down, which is a measure of vibration and frequency. Everything's changing energetically. When things change energetically, well, things change in our physical bodies, things change in our energetic bodies, things change on a quantum level, it changes our cells, it changes everything. Everything is changing. So the more we can be in our heart, the more we can be in the eye of the storm. And from the eye of the storm, that's where the storm generates its power. So be in your heart, be in the eye, and then you can be a powerful light worker and an agent of change to modify and soften all the challenges and problems that people are facing during this period of massive change, massive upheaval, leading to mass awakening. So, what are you guys saying? Hi, Michael. Hi, Michael. Hi, Danielle. Hey, Collective. Hey, Laura. Welcome. And the energies are wild now. Yes, they are. A lot of confrontational people out there. Yeah. There's reasons for that. People are getting triggered left and right. Crystal grid, setting up crystal grids can be really, really helpful also. Thank you. I want to show this. Not so much for what you said, but I love the pretty emojis and things on there. He stands for sure. All right, so let's get into this. We're going to start with the astrology and numerology. So I will be looking down at my notes a lot. I write everything down ahead of time. So, and I wrote something on the side. Also strong effects on weather and climate. I already said that. Never mind. All right, I love you. Thanks for being here, everybody that's here live and as a video. Thank you so much. So July 17th is the big day of the next new moon in Cancer. July 16th, by the way, Heather Istara, the magnificent healer that works with us sometimes, and myself are going to do some powerful transmissions. That's going to be the evening right before the new moon on the 16th of July at 7 p.m. right here on the Medium channel. So July 17th is the actual new moon. The moment of the new moon is 2:32 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So you can translate that into your own time zone. It's at 24 degrees Cancer, almost at 25 degrees, about 24 degrees and 57 minutes. But it still registers as a 24 numerologically. 24 is Venus ruled. The sign Cancer's lunar rule. So there's a lot of divine feminine energy. So that's a powerful aspect. So we want to connect with our divine feminine, our ability to be intuitive, to be healers, to be nurturing, to be receptive and open, and to receive. Basically, a lot of people are really good givers and very poor receivers. We need that balance. So learn to receive also. Now, there's a lot of aspects that are going on also. So they even write that, oh, it's a universal number 13 day. So universal, numerological universal days have minimal importance. It's kind of like when I do my YouTube videos, they say hashtags have minimal importance now. So, but it's a thing. 13 is the death in Chaldean numerology, and the death card in tarot. Death is transformation and change, not dying, like dying. It's just change and transformation. And it's Uranus rule because it reduces to 4. Uranus loves to change, it loves surprises, and loves to refold. So that flavors the energy of this new moon somewhat. So we have Venus stationing and going retrograde on the 22nd. So I mentioned that the 22nd is a very important date. We're going to do some work here on the Medium channel. I think that's, what's that, a Friday night or is that Saturday? Well, it's coming up later next week anyway. So I'll do a little transmission work, and we're going to do some group prayers, help the climate, help people that are suffering. What's going on with the trees? There's a lot of burning of trees going on, particularly in Canada right now. The children also, as this controversial movie, starts to gain traction, The Sound of Freedom. It's, bringing awareness to things. Just, don't let these media events get you off track and get all caught up in all that hype. This is a great development, in my opinion. Some people have different opinions on it, but the idea is to bring more awareness into the problem of child sex trafficking, and hopefully get to some of the origins and sources and who's behind it. So anyway, the idea, we'll do these prayers, and it's also Mary Magdalene's feast day on July 22nd. So that's another reason why the day's so powerful. So Venus goes retrograde. It's stationed retrograde on the 22nd. It's Mary Magdalene's feast day. And what else? Something, anyways. Too much information in my brain. But in any event, we're going to do a transmission, and we're going to connect in prayer. When what's the saying in the book of Matthew? When 2 or 3 or more are gathered in my name, I shall be amongst them. So that was Jesus's words. So when we connect in groups and pray, Spirit, Christ consciousness joins us and makes those prayers really powerful. Science now validates that the power of prayer is amazing. We've known this, but now that science is advancing, we're starting to get some empirical data to support that, which is great. So what else? So Venus stations retrograde on the 22nd. Mercury. So it's basically, for all intents and purposes, Venus is going to be stationing on the 17th. Also, it's not going to be moving a whole lot. So that's a part of it. When planets station, they're more powerful. Venus is about love, right? But it's also about security and about the flow of money and stuff like that. So things around money may stagnate. We may get a lot of changes in what's going on in global economy. That's not one of the 6 points that I have, but it's worth mentioning that in a way, this could help to stabilize things. And Venus going retrograde could allow the powers that be, or those that are more conscious and more aware, that have some influence over the governments and the flows of money or whatever. This could be a real time where humanity, especially when it comes to the economy, can start to learn from mistakes and start to correct some of those past mistakes. Maybe Michael Mars, our local economic expert, maybe a good start would be to reintroduce the gold standard, or some kind of standard, not called the petrodollar anyways. Maybe I'm wrong, but that seems like that might help to regulate things like inflation and recession. But anyways, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So what else is going on? Mercury and Jupiter are squaring. So Mercury is about intelligence, Jupiter's growth. So you get those planets together, there's some great ideas. There's likely to be a flavor of things like negotiating things, or trying to really work things out outside of the battlefield. But because there's a square, there's a lot of attention involved with that, and a lot of difference of thoughts and opinions. And when these square, there can be a lot of antagonistic energy out there. People can get very verbose, very argumentative, like it's not already happening. So that could be some of the flavor that we're warming up to. Now, what else is going on? Sun and Neptune trine. It's a weak trine, but they do trine. The Sun and Neptune, that's a nice energy, although the Sun and Neptune aren't necessarily the best of friends, because Sun is fire, Neptune's water, but it helps to bring higher consciousness and compassion more into play, because it's a trine. And also there's a weak Sun Uranus sextile, and Uranus is very powerful during this, and Mars and Saturn opposed. So that again going to add to a lot of strife and struggles amongst things like institutions, governments. It can escalate war. From what I understand, our American president has started to mobilize some of the reserves. So that things are percolating, as has been forecasted by me and many others as well. So these are a couple of things. Now, 24 degree point brings in higher integrity into play. 24 number, that version of the number 6, really works in the vibration of integrity and honesty and truthfulness, and being more in nobility. So that's a good influence to have as things are really changing, where things are going to need to be agreed upon and negotiated upon. This is going to affect you in your personal lives, in your families and communities, but also on a global and a government level. So let me see what else that we wrote down here. I may as well read this since I wrote it. So the sum of all the aspects up, and we will see lots of pushing through the resistance to create more social change and justice. So that's going to be a big theme this month. This can lead to international summits, perhaps arms agreements. I honestly wouldn't hold my breath, but the energy can certainly lead to that to some degree. It can draw more attention to things like security, national security, personal security, security online, because that's a big issue, cybersecurity, all that stuff. It can bring more volatility to the global economy. So again, keep an eye on things if you have investments, and understand the flows of the economy, understand the flow of business. How are things changing? And you can get an idea maybe what to invest in. If you have any savvy, look into some of the cryptos. I understand that a few of those are really going to hit big, but I don't know which one, because I just don't know. I just don't know that. So anyway, so what else? It can draw more attention. It can bring a more volatility. Okay, lots of political backstabbing. What else is new, right? There could be indictments and high-ranking officials. Well, that's happened already, but so that can continue. Lots of our personal beliefs, as well as relationships and personal connections, can come under scrutiny. So anyway, here's the 6 things to know. I'm going to flash this because I asked. So the BRICS, BRICS nations are meeting in August to do just as you described, unveil a new gold-backed currency. Thank you for that. Yes. And You're saying, can I keep my Catholic foundation? Yeah, nothing at all wrong with the Catholic foundation. Nothing at all. What am I going to say? The control aspect, it's a little bit, unpleasant, but that's true in a lot of religions and so-called spiritual paths. I like doing my rosary. Yeah, rosaries. I don't have my mala beads, but I do malas. Rosaries, malas. It's a very similar energy, right? Really thickens the frequency chord on the prayer's intention. Yes, it does. Absolutely. And what else here? After that point, it may very well bring forth the final blows to the All right. That's good to know. Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that. I like the little emojis after that. All right. So, thing number one is relationship refinement. That's a big one. Venus is very active because it's stationing, ready to go retrograde about 4 to 5 days after the actual new moon. Like I said, the new moon forms the template. That's a snapshot that this month is going to build upon that template. So clearing old patterns and deepening connection are a big theme for us this month. So Venus retrograde, it's in 24 degrees Venus ruled numerology in the very sensitive and intuitive sign of Cancer. And then, by the way, the moon's in its rulership in this new moon, so it makes it even that much stronger. The rulership of Cancer is the moon, right? So reevaluation of relationships. A lot of this is going to be romantic, but it's not limited to that. Friendships, things like that. Also family relationships. Redefining, maybe letting some old ones go. Maybe bring in some new ones. And now Venus is going retrograde. Astrologers will say it's not the time for new relationships, but I don't 100% agree with that. Well, Spirit saying, well, not all astrologers believe that. So I'm being corrected by Spirit as I'm talking. So new relationships can happen, even the love of even with the love of your life. But for most, there is review, and that's what the Venus retrograde. All retrogrades are about review. That RE. There's a lot of reviewing of our own personal values when it comes to relationships and connections. Reviewing of maybe a relationship that's happening, maybe review of a relationship that didn't work out. Why didn't that work out? Of course, it's the other person's fault, right? It's not your fault. No. It's their fault. This is the kind of energy that many people need to review. Okay. And especially in the karmic patterns. Otherwise, the new will be like the old. So in other words, review like what learn the lessons. We need to take responsibility. Yeah, other people will dump on us, will screw our lives up, but we still need to take responsibility for everything that's right or wrong in our world, because on an energetic level, on a deep conscious level, that we created that, and the other people become the players in our chess game, so to speak. So we need to take responsibility and understand the patterns and how that's infiltrating or influencing your current relationship or relationships. Once you understand the karmic patterns, then you can start to shift them. Karma is about learning and lessons. It's patterns of repeating energy. It's not a punishment. It's not a retribution. If you're in an abusive relationship and you've always been in abusive relationships, no, it does not mean that you were a terrible abuser in another lifetime. I mean, it could mean that, but usually it doesn't. I'd say 95 to 99% of the time, it means that you were abusing somebody in another lifetime, and you carry those patterns into this lifetime and carry the same patterns into this lifetime. And the lesson of karma is understanding that and changing those patterns. So we change the patterns by making different choices. We make different choices by gaining more insight and understanding to the nature of what's going on in our lives. Does that make sense? I hope so. So many of you, for many of you, someone that you desire can come back into your life. That's part of the retrograde also. For some, it's a reconciliation with an ex. A few may get back together with an ex, but mostly the connection is to tie up loose ends and clear any negative energy to move forward. So it can happen, but for the most part, under Mercury retrograde, you're probably not going to wind up with your ex I mean, it can happen if you want that to happen, but it's more of a time to review, understand the dynamics, and shift that and change that. And with that, you can bring in a soulmate. So that's the other part of it. It's review. And why I'm saying new relationships can happen on the Venus retrograde, because if we're talking about a soulmate, we're talking about somebody you already know. You just didn't meet them in this lifetime yet. So it's a review of another lifetime coming into this lifetime. So it's ideal for deepening connection and attracting your soulmate. I wrote this in the whole next paragraph, as the Venus retrograde is connected with your past. All right. That brings us to point number 2. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. All donations go to supporting the channel. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate that. That's like I was jealous of another. So yeah, when I'm talking about it, it's very succinct with your experiences. This is the time to really review that. So go into meditation and ask Spirit to help you to understand that more and to help give you clues as to how to shift that reality. Basically, it starts with presence. And thank you again. Appreciate you. So number 2 is refinement or change with the home and family. Cancer rules the home, it rules the hearth, it rules the family, amongst other things. Cancer connects with the home. Refinements or change is in the home are recommended, and family relationships are family the heart. So refinement of the relationship with our family members, maybe tying up loose ends, maybe reconciliation, maybe the opposite, maybe finding the resolve that this just isn't going to work and I need to take care of myself rather than keep beating my head up against the wall. So that can happen also. And and this can relate to family, the heart. It's also ideal for connecting with new soul family, new star family. Strike AI. I'm not sure what you're saying here, but sleeping anxiety, strike the past. Okay. I didn't include AI in any of these 6 points, but that's certainly a thing, obviously, that's happening. So number 3, did I finish number 2? Ideal for connecting with new soul family and star family members. We're all star seeds, a greater or lesser degree, in my view, anyways. That the human species went from proto-human to modern human, just kind of with no genetic linking, by the way, 200,000 years ago. Because I believe that proto-human was seeded with extraterrestrial DNA. Personally, it's the only explanation that would check all the boxes. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I believe. But this leads me to point 3, that ETs may visit you, extraterrestrial intelligence may visit you, new guides, new ascended masters may start to come. This is energy is very conducive to that. I think we're already seeing it, but I think we're going to see a continued increase in UFO sightings, UFO contacts. Most contacts happen on a telepathic level. So when I'm saying more ETs and more connection, you may connect more with ETs. No, I don't mean that you're going to get abducted and have terrible tests done on you, but you may get telepathic communication, you may get sightings, and for I don't want to even say a select few of you, but for a few of you, you may actually have like visual visits with extraterrestrial intelligences. What else to write? You got new star beings begin to communicate more. This new moon naturally opens your intuition because it's a Cancer new moon, and strengthens your impressions and strengthens your connections also. So there's that. So number 4 is new beginnings. All new moons are about new beginnings. It's the beginning of a cycle. So for the next 72 hours, set your intention. What do you want to create in your life? Do some ceremony or ritual around that, or some new affirmations, new law of attraction techniques. Law of attraction works when you engage the heart, when you're present, grateful for everything in the present moment. And then in the present moment, flip that into your dream manifesting is in the present moment. Make it real in your heart, make it real in your mind, and you set the energetic wheels in motion for it to manifest in the physical. So the first 72 hours after the new moon are very important times for setting new intentions, creating new energies. And as the moon starts to get larger, your intentions will start to grow also, and things will start to manifest. Um, I'm going to, when I have some time, Jody, I'm going to dive in and learn more about AI, because I want to be able to, that's a really important aspect of today's society where I feel like I don't really have adequate information to really speak a lot about that at this time. So I'm going to look more into that. I mean, I do speak on it because I do know some things. I know enough to recommend not to not to go for interfacing or transhumanism, but we'll say that for another live feed. So that's number 4. Where are we? Okay. Number 5. Okay. Deep personal and ancestral healing. That Cancer new moon is very, very healing. Mercury's doing some interesting things. That's Hermes, the healer. Venus stationed with an active Saturn. Saturn is about karma and lessons, by the way. And Mercury, helps facilitate deep and personal ancestral healing. Moon is in its ruler, so it's perfect for healing, clearing emotional patterns, because it's our emotions, our energy, emotion that energizes our lives and what we create in our lives. And it's the emotional patterns that can keep you locked into limited experiences in life, and basically recycling the past and the present, because we have 65,000 thoughts a day. 95% of them are subconscious. Most are about the past and future. Most are around negative things that happened in the past. So when we think about the past, even the subconscious, we bring up the same emotions, the same energy, and then whatever we hold in the present, we start to create in the future. So we can break that cycle by doing some deep personal and ancestral healing. So it's a great time for shadow work, great time to really do some deep meditation, some deep healing, some deep clearing. So, and the number 6 thing to know is that intuition spikes. Moon in Cancer is very good for the intuition. So work on your intuition development, basically. And those are the 6 things. But I also have some exercises to do as well. So I'm gonna flash this. So Angel's saying she dreamt she was on a spaceship or a craft of some sort the other night. At first, they thought it was an airplane, but it had 6 or 7. Why am I feeling it's Arcturian? I don't know. I'm starting to think that everybody that's taken aboard crafts is Arcturian, but there's others, that can take you on board. But when I mean that, I'm thinking that that's Arcturian. Okay. So anyway, exercise number 1, I started to talk about that shadow work, soul retrieval work. Now, there's an exercise. I did this. I was doing a ceremony. Archangel Raphael came in. This was maybe a year and a half ago, and it started a whole new process of shadow integration work for me. And basically what happened is I connected with the Archangel. I just had the notion to ask the Archangel to take me back to some past trauma that's affecting my present life. And I went back. I was 6 years old. I saw the room I was in. I saw the little boy. That was me. I was cute too. I saw the little boy, on the floor crying, basically, and just thinking about all kinds of horrible things I was going to do to my parents. I was being punished, obviously, and really, really upset. And then I was observing the boy, and Archangel Raphael was with me, and I started to speak to my child self. I started to say, look, things have to be hard for you to fulfill your mission. You're loved, you're beautiful, you're adored. I started to say all this, and I started to see almost like this smile go through the tears. As soon as I saw that and felt that, my heart opened. I grabbed this little boy, I hugged him, I brought him back into my heart, reintegrated that soul part. Then the Archangel took me back to the present. So you don't have to do things exactly the way that I do, but that's an example of a way that you can do soul retrieval. You can also work with a shaman, to do soul retrievals, or any kind of integrating with karmic stuff, with past stuff. So, and shadow work integration. I have several videos on it. I have a video that has 5, I think I included this exercise too. So this and 4 other powerful shadow integration work exercise you can work with. I'll leave that on the pinned comment. I'll leave a link to that on the pinned comment. So that So the next, so do that. So the next exercise they said was do moon breathing. Moon breathing in yoga is very simple. It's left nostril breathing. Inhale, exhale with the left nostril. Left nostril connects with the right hemisphere of the brain, the intuitive, the imaginative, and the creative. Now you can start out by doing alternative breathing, go into moon breathing, and then maybe finish up with alternative breathing if you're really needing to feel that sense of balance, and always ground. So they're saying make sure that you do a little grounding before you do moon breathing. Also Satali breathing, which is a Kundalini yoga breath where you curl the tongue like this. Not everybody can do that. Some people genetically can't do that. So if you can't curl your tongue, just leave it flat. And you inhale through the mouth, take the cooling air in, and then exhale through your nose and relax. So that's Satali breathing. If you go to bed and your thoughts are racing or your body's jittery, a little bit of Satali breathing can calm you right down, and then you can go to sleep. And so that's one. Yeah, then the next thing they said is do deep present meditation. Visualize yourself in the eye of the storm. So what I was talking about, actually do deep present. So when we get present, we're aware of our breath. We feel being aware of our breath, we stop our thoughts, tune into our breathing, and be sublimely aware of the body and the space around us and everything in the present moment, with focusing on nothing. And work toward becoming so present that you lose the sense of personal identity. You're not a name, you're not a body, you're not a number, your energy, your frequency, you're one with divine and one with source. So that's deep present meditation. Then actually visualize yourself in the eye of the storm. Feel your heart open and expand as you do this. So that's heart-brain coherence. Feel your heart and your brain blending. I'll drop a video in the comments on heart-brain coherence practice also. And feel like you're in the heart of the storm. Everything may swirl around you, but where you are, it's always calm. And that's the key. And from the eye of the storm, it's the energy of the eye of the storm. Well, technically, it's the prevailing winds at different levels of the atmosphere. But don't tell anybody that. For all intents and purposes, the energy of the eye of the storm directs the movement of that storm. So once you're in the eye of the storm, you can start, and you really feel that, and really own that. Then you start to gain more mastery of your life, because you're not feeling all the nonsense outside so much. You're not feeling the pressures of society so much. You're in this calm place. And from there, you can have a clear, coherent thought, and you can really feel like where you want to go in life and really make that real. And then the last thing they were saying is keep doing a lot of cleansing and clearing exercises. This is an ongoing process. And work a lot with water. They just flashed the image of water in my mind. Sacred baths or showers are really good. Like I like to put a little bit of salt, do a little bit of energy charging the water, set the intention that the water is going to cleanse all negative energy off of my body, my aura and being. Water is conscious. They've done a lot of experiments that validate that the water, the energy of the water and the molecular structure of the water will reflect the vibrational frequency around it. In this case, it's your energy, it's your mood, it's your emotions, your feelings. So really feel like it's cleansing and clearing. Set the intention, charge it energetically, get in, and or you can do this as a shower and see the water running over you, and then unplug it. And it's good to sit in the tub and just feel all negative energy, other people's energy, this crazy world's energy just being downloaded, or I don't know if download is the right word, pulled out of your energetic systems and into the ground and into the earth. So let me just peek at your comments for a second, and then we're going to end up by doing a couple of divination cards. More messages. So, hi, Pauline. Got to go to Global Healing. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And the metaphysical Mike, welcome, by the way. I think that you're new. Sometimes you can't explain it in 3D, but in your mind, your soul and higher self just knows everything is going to work out. Yeah, when you're in the eye of the storm, when you're in your heart, that strengthens. Great point. Thank you for the ad. Hey, Bill, long time. I'm so glad you are. So glad you are you and healing. Yeah, getting better every day, right? Yeah. I'm glad that you're healing also. I know that you've had quite an ordeal, so I'm glad for everybody that's healing. And if you're not quite there yet, well, connect with this community. We're all about healing. We're all about growth. We're all about expansion. We're all about making a difference. And oh, good for you. Enjoy that. Yes. Enjoy the Outer Banks. Yeah. Yeah. If you can go to the ocean and that salt water, that seawater, when I go to the ocean, I do this whole ceremony where I just feel the ocean just pulling everything off of me. All right. So let's do our frequency of the month through the sacred geometry card, or for the lunar cycle, I should say. Because it begins Monday at 2. What time is it? 2:30, around 2:30, 2:32, I think was the exact time. You're welcome, Bill. All right. So I just have to clear my mind because my old saying is, when you're thinking you're not connecting, that's connecting to spirit. And when you're connecting, you're not thinking. I'm not thinking, and my card found me. We've gotten this one before. So this is a repeat. Maybe this is a big one. It's interesting because we're talking about all this divine feminine energy. This is clearly more of a masculine vibe. So this is going to help to really balance a lot of that out. Oh, thank you for that, Susan. I almost forgot. Let's get this circulating around to all the beautiful people out there. Let me hide that. So let me read this. And, the frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion, so emotion is of the moon, right, lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within. So this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill the gap. So within the yin is the yang, within the yang is the yin. So good to have a little bit of fiery, more active, male or yang principle, in this very yin energy of the Cancerian new moon. So you can get, you can vibrate on this gauge at the center. Just allow the sacred geometry to fill you. Autofocus is working pretty good today, thank goodness. And Michael's reminding us the passion came up during last Sunday's tarot time. Tarot time, the forecast for the week is every Sunday, 11 Eastern time live. And all these live events upload as a video when I'm done anyways, if you can't make the live. So you just gaze in the middle, just become one with the energy of this, absorb the frequency and see what messages, see how you feel, and go with it that way. So have passion, saying have drive, keep your dreams. Sometimes, again, when we are able to get in the eye of the storm and separate ourselves, sometimes we need to separate from others. We talk about oneness and connection, but we're still individual entities, right? We're still individual parts of a divine whole with a unique consciousness unto our own. And there's times that we just need to disconnect from the collective so we can be more in our heart, more in our power. So that's part of the energy of this, I do believe. Yeah. So that's that. So I'll hold this up for a second more, absorb it, breathe it in. And as you're in that calm place, you may find higher passion. Our passion is our drive, our energy. It's basically what animates us. And passion is part of the word compassion. So let me move on. I'm going to do a Kyle Gray Angels and Ancestors pull also. So that's the next deck that I'm doing. I always like to break these in 3. It's part of my tarot training, I suppose. All right. Let me do the same thing. This is the one. And the one that we got, Priestess. Well, that's very lunar energy, all right. And what it says for the High Priestess is harness mystic powers. So with our passion, while we're in the eye of the storm and drawing in all this Cancerian new moon energy, we can connect with that energy that is of the high priestess. It's kind of the maiden aspect of the triple goddess in a way. It's about magic, it's about mystery, it's about intuition, and magic. Being able to influence the forces, influence nature, and to be one with source, influence our lives basically, and to be powerful. Our divine feminine is part of our divine power, and the divine masculine the other part of it. And in this time, there's more, it's 50-50, but like a pendulum, it swings, for the last 2,000 years, it's been more swinging the divine masculine energies, or maybe the not so divine masculine energies, as the case may be. And now it's kind of swinging slightly in the divine feminine, where we're finding more of our intuition, we're finding more of our heart, we're understanding that we can heal ourselves and others, and we're in that kind of phase, and that's very powerful energy. So that's what I'm getting. This black cat, that's Bastet. The mystery, the hidden. It's also connects maybe to the cat people or the lion people of is it Vega in the Lyran system, where the felines are? I think so. So anyways, and there's a very Egyptian feel to that, a very kind of ancient mysteries feel to this energy also. And I think my feeling is that you are the high priestess. You've been in that kind of a role, or high priest, in another lifetime. And I'll do one more. Let me do a message, more of a message card from the Divine Abundance deck. Again, these are messages for this new moon, to carry into this energy. Okay, so clearing mind. Right to this card, which happens to be the bottom card too. And the message here, well, first I'll show you guys the card. Sometimes you can get messages just in the picture. You may get a personal message I'm not even touching on, that's just for you. So that's individuality. And the message is, every person has their own personalized study plan in this earth school. So honor your individuality. I feel like part of this message is that we get guilted and shamed a lot in this world because people are fearful of people that are different. It's a survival instinct. The hive mind feels threatened, I'll put it that way. And I think, it takes a little bit more energy and a lot of courage to really be who we are, our true authentic selves, our true individual selves. And as we find our individuality, that's how it's kind of like a blueprint in a way that we find. And that blueprint is how we fit in with that divine collective also. So that's, to me, feels like the message in the final message. So to sum up, July 22nd, big day. It's Mary Magdalene's feast day. Mary Magdalene's a very powerful, speaking of the high priestess, right? That's Mary Magdalene energy right there. She's a healer, the mystic, right? A lot of the scriptures around Mary Magdalene were not in the Bible, but they do exist. It takes a little bit of digging. And it's also the day that Venus goes retrograde. So Venus is super powerful on that day. Great to set your intentions on things on a financial level, a romantic level, a friendship level. So we're going to do some prayers on that day. We're going to, it'll be up on the channel before the 22nd, obviously. We're going to do some prayers for the children, for the trees, for Mother Earth, to help to soften or negate the wars. As I mentioned earlier in the live stream, from what I understand, the United States president has mobilized some of the reserves, and it's really for deployment in Europe. So there's a lot of this in upscaling. Now, they've done experiments. Who was it? I think it's a group of Tibetan Buddhists. Yeah, this is well documented that I don't know, hundreds or thousands of them got together, did prayers, and violence reduced like 40 to 60%. And this really does work. It's all energy, it's all intention. So we'll do a group prayer, but I encourage you to pray individually also. That's going to add to the collective too, and it's not going to just limit to our community. It's going to, well, it wouldn't anyway when we're doing the group work, but doing this individually is also going to be very powerful as well. I think I can put individuality away, right? So July 22nd, we're going to do that. We'll do a transmission with the master teachers also. For those of you that are new, I do channeling work. I do mediumship work, which is very evidential. Spirits that have crossed over come through. But I also do frequency channeling with a group I call the master teachers, and they activate our energy fields in specific ways. So we're going to do a transmission that's going to really help us to connect with the energies of that day, and to help us to reach our next spiritual levels also, and connect with the energies maybe of the Magdalena as part of the transmission, but also to send some nice healing and empowerment prayers to the earth, to the children, to the trees, to help to prevent the wars, and to help the warring parties of this world, and the elite, those that are running the show, that are not the nicest people. We can send them some love and maybe help them to find their souls, and to start to connect more on the level of compassion. The more that do this, because it's all consciousness, it's all collective consciousness, the more that do this, the closer we get to that 100th monkey. And when that happens, their tone's going to change, and things are going to get done. And more people than ever, exponentially, are going to have spiritual awakenings, are going to get together, and things are going to fall, but then things are going to rebuild, and restructurings of society, rebuildings of society on a foundation of fairness, of freedom, of brother and sisterhood is going to emerge from that. So, and I certainly hope Biden isn't. I don't know that, but that would be my conjecture. But I don't know that. And it's always good to double and triple check and cross reference, because there's so much misinformation out there, on so many levels, so much misinformation, really trying to confuse people, trying to get them to conform. And that's one camp. The other camp is really putting out these, super ridiculous conspiracy theories that detract attention from the true conspiracies that are very real, that are getting exposed. So we really have to be in our heart, be in our power, be in the eye of the storm. That's the message. So I love you. Thanks for being here. And next live is Sunday for tarot time. And then we're going to do the new moon transmission at 7 on Sunday. So 11 Eastern time for tarot time for the weekly forecast, 7 with healer and very powerful channel and transmitter in her own right, Heather Istara, and myself. We're going to each do a transmission for the energies of this new moon, to help us to get the most out of this cycle. Thank you, everybody. Again, if you guys want to hit the like button, if you like this, maybe YouTube will share this with more people. Feel free to subscribe and become part of this community, though that's not necessary, but I appreciate it if you do. And I love you. Thanks again.